guys, welcome to another Chelmer Value Maths tutorial. Mr. Gordon here. Just a short video, a bit of an addition to the previous video on exercise E. It's a special case of factorising. So we're going to look at something called the difference of two squares. So you have two terms, that's where the 2 comes from. Both terms are square terms. So the first one here in the example is an x squared. So we've got x times x. And in the back you've got a 25 here, which is obviously going to come from 5 times 5. And the difference is the subtraction. When you find the difference of something, you subtract them. So these are the clues that you need to think of when you have something that is in the form of the difference of two squares in front of you. So why is it different to a normal quadratic? Well, there's no b term. The b value, there's no x's here, so the b value is 0. So you can still apply the same rules that we spoke about in the previous video. You need some factors, some numbers for the 25. So you've got to think what times together, what will multiply together to give you 25, but will also add together to give you 0. So the only options are really are going to be a plus 5 and a minus 5, because that will give you a minus 25 when you multiply them, and they also minus 5 plus 5 will give you a 0. So there are some shortcuts to this. So this is the answer. You've got your plus 5 and your minus 5 in the back. Those were the factors that times together to give you minus 25, but also added together to give you no x terms. So the b part was 0. And then obviously you want your x and your x to give you the x squared. So the shortcut to this is, once you've mastered the rule, you'll be able to spot these quite quickly. You just square root both terms. So you have you ignore the minus sign. You square root the x squared, so that gives you x, and that goes in the front of the brackets. You square root the 25, so the plus version, and that gives you the 2 5s. And you need to have one bracket with a plus and one bracket with a minus, and that ensures that you will get no x values. It cancels out the middle terms. You get this plus 5. When you expand it, you get plus 5x and minus 5x in the middle, and then they cancel out. So like I said, that's called the difference of two squares. And here is the general form, if you like. So that for your notes, you can write this down. This is the general formula. So like I said, you square root them. You put the first square root in the front of the brackets and the second one in the back, and you have one with a plus and one with a minus. So have a go at this one. Slightly more difficult, but I'll let you have a go. Pause the video, see what you can come up with, and I'll go through the solution with you. Okay, so looking at this one, we have got we've got two terms. We've got 4x squared and 9y squared, minus 9y squared, I should say. So again, these are both square terms because the 4 is a square number, bit of a clue, and the 9 is a square number. So when you see square numbers, make sure you consider the difference of two squares as a way to factorise it. So what's going to be the square root of the first term? So if we square root the 4x squared, square root the 4, you're going to get 2. And if you square root the x squared, you're going to get an x. So you're going to get 2x in the front of your brackets. And in the rear, we need to consider the 9y squared. So the 9 would square root to a 3. And the y squared would square root to just a y. So you get 3y in the back. 1 plus, 1 minus, and you should end up with something that looks like this. So just pause the video and multiply this out and see how the middle terms cancel out, just to give you a better understanding of what's going on. Again, have a go at this one. Oh, sorry, I should say this is, well, you know, we need to be careful with this one because 45 is not a square term without using a surd. So what is there a common factor? That's the first step for this one. Is there a common factor? You should be thinking yes, there is, because 5 goes into both terms. So what would happen if we factored out a 5 straight away? So remember, if you've got a common factor, you can factorise this into a single bracket. Put the 5 outside, and then you will end up with something that looks like this. Now, this looks more like the difference of two squares, because I know that's a square term and the 9 is a square number. So this would follow our rule, and we can split that up into, like we did before, x plus 3 and x minus 3. So square root that in the front, and the square root of 9 goes in the back. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video there, and then we'll catch up in the next video, where we'll be looking at surds and how we simplify them.